Hey, what it do, y'all? What it do? What it do? Coming back for another action pack. Make sure that you got your popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, and soda. Gonna go in. As I said in my community tab, this should be a very interesting live stream. Um, but yeah, be just to be at least talking about just to be talking about the thumbnail, if you will. I had a slight hesitation there because I was just thinking about, you saw with the superhero wins, if you will. Hey, what's good, Mike? Good to see you. Yeah, are you was in all over at Kuda's? Okay, shout out to Kuda for sure. Yeah, glad you're over here as well, fam, for sure. But yeah, you saw with the thumbnail there was what, Captain Marvel, there was Wonder Woman, then there was Storm and Jean Grey. Those are like, you would consider the top ladies, if you will, of the Marvel world. But even more or less of popular culture, a lot of gals look up to those gals, if you will. They also look up to Corella as well, but I didn't have enough room to add Corella. She would be right in the middle of that thumbnail. She would be the oldest of them all, right? Allegedly, supposedly. But yeah, these are like the leading ladies, man. And they kind of represent to me what this idea of alpha female has been and what it's becoming. I remember back in the day there was this gal that I went to work with, and this was back in my blue pill days, but I used to call her Wonder Woman just because, she was a supervisor, but she had to also do front desk and everything else at the hotel that I was working at the time, and I just would call her Wonder Woman. And come to find out, she thought I was real cool, but nothing evolved beyond that. But yeah, back in my blue pill days, that's why I called her Wonder Woman. Now, of course, I don't say Wonder Woman like back in the day. My thing is she has to be a wonderful woman. She has to be a woman of wonder. See? But here's the thing on that. And this is kind of giving y'all an idea of what I mean by alpha female. The untold truths, by the way. Okay? But this idea to me that femininity is inherently narcissistic, even though it wasn't always that way. Yeah, it wasn't always that way. It had its slight origins of narcissism. It had its slight origins of narcissism in regards to Lilith, but that's for another day to talk about. But overall, it wasn't supposed to be narcissistic about femininity. In many ways, it just becomes that way, just given how, in some ways, as she is supposed to complement the masculine, she becomes somewhat of a complication of the masculine of sorts as time goes on. Okay. It's like if a man pulls his ACL or Achilles tendon. That's kind of like what femininity can be to masculinity at times. Because what? If she's your attachment, anything goes. If there's something about her that is hurtful, it's going to hurt you. So keep that in mind in regards to the alpha female, because sometimes what she knows about a man's weakness and she knows how to use that against him, especially if he relied on her, if he depended on her in some way, shape, or form. So that's kind of in a way why you got some guys that want to go their own way because they don't want to have to rely on the feminine for anything, let alone as an attachment, let alone as a sense of peace. Because you got some of these chicks that got this alpha female title that they want to control that piece of a man. You know what I'm saying? They want to control that piece of a man. That's a double entendre. Hey, what's good, Tom? It's good to see you up in the building. Always good to have you around for sure. Uh, she wants to destroy that piece of a man, the alpha female type, right? Meaning that she wants to destroy that man's peace. He has no peace, he only has chaos. She'll try to destroy that, she'll try to control that. See, that alpha side of her that she wants to have, that way of wanting to dominate him. But also, she wants to destroy that piece of a man. Well, a certain piece of that man that she knows she can destroy, that certain weakness, or let's say that certain strength. You have a lot of these gals that call themselves woke, right? And they feel like they can be par on par what a man is. Some of them feel like they are the reason why man exists. These chicks that call themselves woke, right? You know, I don't even like to hear that term woke. I just say wicked, okay? We'll say that, right? But a lot of these chicks come off with this masculine type of undertone, this what I call this alpha female moniker that they bring upon. Now, for my channel, I've always stated that alpha was a position, not a personality, and that alpha simply means leader. So you get a chick that calls herself an alpha female, she's obviously she sees herself as a female leader in many ways, and not just a leader of females, but a leader of males, men, you name it. She's just a female version of a male leader. You know what I'm saying? So, yep, you already know, Tom's for sure. Yep. Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Let's continue on with this alpha female, the untold truths. See, um, well, Tupac said it best in his song about Dear Mama. He said, I finally understand for a woman it ain't easy trying to raise a man. You know what I'm saying? So that simply means that she can't make a boy into a man. But because many have tried, this has caused generations of emasculated guys. Many of them have tried their best to teach boys what a man should be like. A lot of it is based on, the way that she was able to emasculate her baby daddy. You see what I'm saying? The father of her son. She was able to emasculate him. So in turn, that kind of propelled her to try to get her boy to be the type of man that she wanted her boy to be, given that she didn't like the type of guy that uh baby daddy was, if you will, emasculate him. And she could have done this to even her own father, because I heard this a lot, right? Especially where I'm from in St. Louis, you got a lot of gals that emasculate their own father. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to fight their own father. It's sick. It is sickening. Okay. You said, Toms, you said an old Yiddish proverb, women raise children, men raise adults. Okay. And I'm gonna kind of say this too. And that's a great quote, by the way, Yiddish. Yes, that's facts. Let me read that again before I get to this next point. You said an old Yiddish proverb, women raise children, men raise adults. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Comes back down to the man. That's why I've never been big on when they be like, the woman is a child's first teacher. No, she's not the first teacher, she's the first student. You know what I'm saying? She, as a student, inspires the children to be better students. Why? She's learning from the man of that house, who's all of their teacher. Okay. I don't see the woman as the first teacher, she's the first student. Keep that in mind. Yeah, but I was going to say, over here at this channel, I've had many different evolutions of what it's going to be, because I see myself like outside the manosphere in any many ways. I guess if you want to say that, any meeny mighty mo. But what does Ray embody? Because you got to have some type of profile, identity, way about yourself, and people have kind of seen what I've been able to do on my channel. And I've sort of been joking around with this idea of the Thanos sphere. But no, I'm not really trying to build on the character of Thanos. But I have been talking to some people in the back chat, and they said this, uh, Ray, maybe you should do this instead. So I'm gonna kind of type it in the chat for y'all and spread the word, because this is what I be on going forward, because I feel that this kind of is helping me. Actually, it is helping me with this live stream tonight. So I feel that right now is the time. I didn't see myself doing this, but I don't mind. Uh, yeah, there's so many ways I want to put this. I don't even know if this would be the right word. Because I'm kind of typing it in, and it's kind of like, no, I don't want to say this. Hey, this is all off script, so I'll just type it and I'll put it in the chat, and I'll kind of refine it over time. That's what I do over here. I'm very organic, but they'd be like, yo, instead of a manosphere, you're more like a minisphere, But when I type that, it's mini. I don't see myself as mini, right? So minosphere versus mini sphere. Minosphere, that's what we do over here, right? But mini sphere, if it was like minister, because of what I administer versus minister. So I don't know, just kind of giving y'all an idea of where I'm coming from. I just think there needs to be a new outlet, just a new way, just a new thing you need to do out here. Just a new message. But I'm not gearing for a trend, a clique, a group, a movement, because I don't want the words that I say to be played out or watered out. Now, that was just, like I said, a side note, but it still ties in with what I'm talking about, because it's about men still, right? And it's about women that desire men, not females that desire males and boys. Okay. Um, but yeah, many of these alpha female types, many of these alpha female types have tried their best to teach their boys what a man should be like. A lot of it is based on the way she was able to emasculate the father of her son, or AKA her baby daddy. Other times it's due to her wanting to detract females that are the way she was away from her son. Basically, she's teaching her son how to be a player. But this actually also teaches a lot of sons how to be bad boys instead of decent men. Because if she was one of those bad girls that used to like bad boys, and she never wanted a guy that was nice or treated her nice, all she's doing is just basically trying to make sure that her son don't get played. She's trying to make sure that her son don't get played by those same chicks that remind her of the way she used to be. It's a sick cycle. You don't want your son to get played. Effectively, you're teaching your son how to be a player. Okay? That's what you're doing. You're teaching your son how to be a player. All these alpha female types that are raising up their boys, they want them to have the swag. All these little boys you see that be dressed up, fly, right? Little dude be fly. I'm like, look at little dude, fresh cut, nice clothes, and there's no skin color to this. I see little young Chads and Brads that be looking like the flyest golfer. You know what I'm saying? Look like he's finna hit a birdie or an eagle that day, right? He looking like Tom Cruise from the '80s on the Top Gun set. You feel me? young boy looking fly. You know what I'm saying? You got some, you even got an Asian boy. Let's say if it's one of the non-traditional, more westernized Asian chicks, she got her son looking like some dude that's fresh off of Tokyo Drift, right? But that's the thing, you teaching your son how to look like this fly player. This whole idea of looking fly, man, is from the females, right? So even a lot of the guys from the Blade, a lot of the PIs can attest to this about how they really learned about their fly. You know what I'm saying? Learning about some of their player ways, you dig? They had to learn about it from their mother. What they would say, the mother taught them the game. They ain't learn it from their father. If they had it from the father would tell him that he learned it from his mom, aka the other guy's grandma. So all of this about the game stems from a chick, this alpha female type. All of this matrix. Who you think wrote the matrix? It was a woman that wrote the story about the Matrix because she knew that's what the Matrix was. Now, this is outside of true creation. Matrix is not of the creator. You know, the Matrix is what's invented, not what's been created. There's a difference, okay? But yeah, just kind of not trying to get too deep in the rabbit hole for y'all, but that's kind of giving y'all an idea of what this alpha female thing can really go to. Should I just say it? The Oracle, okay? The untold truth about the alpha female, the Oracle. But we won't talk about the Oracle. Not today. We won't talk about the Oracle today. But one can argue the origin of a bad boy, like I said, this whole idea is, I believe, like, yes, it's from the influence of his mother. It's not from his father. If it's from his father, that's because his father was a simp. His father was also a bad boy who was taught by his mom, or he was made to be a certain way because of the gals that he got around. He probably didn't even have parents. He probably didn't have a father. So he had to learn about the ways of the streets, right? And I always called guys who didn't have fathers, but you see these guys grew up together. You know, I think I heard this term before from Angry Man. I believe it was. So shout out to Angry Man if that's the case. But it was this idea of a savage pack. It's basically a bunch of guys that grew up together, no father around, but these are just a bunch of guys. But that don't mean they really know what true masculinity is just because they're a bunch of guys that grew up with each other. No, they're just a savage pack. Still got the same emotional ways of chicks, you know what I'm saying? They still kind of do things like chicks do, just in a more male form. That's what it is. When there's no father around, there's no true leadership. There's no true man around. Okay. So, but alpha females, they try to bring on this sort of quasi form of leadership and how they can raise up their boys. You know how they like to say that. Okay. But all single mothers, they put themselves into an alpha position. And I don't say that kindly because this is how son husbands are made. Okay. This is how son husbands are made. Okay. And there's many examples of son husbands out here. I won't go into detail, but fellas, never be a mama's boy. I don't care if you were with only your mother growing up. Never say, even if you might feel there's a confirmation of this, never say that you were raised by your mom. I don't care if you were just only with your mom growing up. Never said you was raised by your mom. Never patronize that, especially if you come a long way with your manhood. And there's a lot of things about you that your mother would not agree to as far as your views in regards to masculinity. Never say that you were raised by your mom. Okay? Never. Yeah, your mom was an important part of your life, but never say that you were raised by your mom. Never. Because you don't want to have this idea of where you feel like a mama's boy and a son husband. Because that's basically what son husband has become. One second. Yeah, it's evolved from mama's boy to son husband. Now, of course, you know I love my mom a lot. Got a lot of love for my mom, but as a man, I don't have those same boy feelings. I don't, I don't like all that goo goo gaga stuff. You know, it reminds me of Jesus in the Bible. Like even he did not call his mom mother like Mary. He never said that. Okay, when Jesus got older, he stopped calling Mary mom or mother. He started calling her woman. So that's how fellas have to be when you get around your mom, man. You don't even look at her as mom. You know, she might still have motherly ways, but her duty as a mom is done with. Like you're a man now. Okay. You don't need her nurturing. Actually, a lot of the mom's nurturing of you stops when you start to be a teen, right? Because up to then you didn't know how to really eat. You didn't know how to really cook. You didn't know how to fold your clothes. Um, and of course, when you were earlier, when you were younger, you had to be breastfed and things like that. If you did grow up being breastfed, I mean, but as you get a certain age, you don't need a lot of that nurturing. Now you want it from a more intimate perspective, right? You don't want that from your mom. But see, a lot of these guys have gotten that from their mom. And you can go back to even some of the most ruthless of guys like Nero. They say a guy that is void of his masculinity becomes a very dangerous guy. And I think a lot of what you would call very dangerous guys are guys that are void of masculinity. Because I've always said that male nature is godly and female nature is godly. A true man, in his sense, is not a violent person. Okay. What they be deeming as violence, Yes, what they be deeming, demon, get it? What they be deeming as violence is not from real men, okay? Because real men ain't violent like that. You know, we often move in silence, and real men have been silenced. See, you said times. The alpha female game is how to cater to other women, hopefully successfully. Fathers show boys and young men how to thrive alone and in control. Exactly. Exactly. Yep, that's it. And that they teach what do they always be saying? Like you be hearing a lot of guys that be coming up, whether it's opening the door for a gal or how to treat a gal a certain way. That's why they make a mockery of what they call the nice guy, because it is kind of like their way of brainwashing guys into thinking this is the way you're supposed to treat a woman. You'll hear a guy say things like, "Yep, I'm just, hey, this that's the way my mama taught me. She taught me to be this way as a respectful man, and that's what I'm supposed to do. That's how I'm supposed to treat you. That's my mama taught me that." What happened to the father? What would your father have taught you instead, right? You said also times, what have I to do with you, woman? He spoke to his mother at the wedding. Jesus turns water into wine. Facts. That's it. Bingo. That's it. Yup. You hit the nail, Toms. Yup. So um, we just trying to let people know that these untold truths of alpha females, it's not what people think it is. Like this whole idea of what a boss chick stems around this whole alpha female matrix complex. Yes, I said matrix complex, or a complex within a matrix. Yes, like an apartment building, because that's what it is. It's apartmentalized, compartmentalized way of thinking in your cerebral. But we won't go too deep in that right now. Okay, but let's go. See, if you really want to talk about being alpha, if you really want to talk about it, nothing screams a quote unquote leading lady than a gal that's in her natural femininity with no surgeries, no BBLs, okay? Meaning no Brazilian butt lifts. I believe that's the acronym for that, the BBL. Okay. Nevertheless, I know what it's about. You know, it's about getting your booty dealt with or getting your boobs dealt with, right? But yeah, nothing screams leading lady like a gal in her natural femininity with no surgeries or BBLs. And I don't say leading lady like she's leading men. No, I say that she's a leading lady because she's leading by example for other ladies to follow. And as I've said before, I don't believe in this notion of an alpha female. You know, she should be an alpha's female. If we're just talking about the terminology alpha, like I'm not really into all the labels, but I get it in regards to, alpha should mean position versus personality. It should mean position instead of personality. Like basically, like since I say alpha is leader, so if a man is being a leader, then she should be by his side. You know what I'm saying? Like, part of his inspiration. Uh, so she would have to be an alpha's female versus just being an alpha female. That's why I say it that way. Instead of being a boss chick, you be a boss's chick. Huh? Run with that one. But yeah, she should be an alpha's female, ultimately becoming an alpha's woman, since I do the female woman logic at this channel. You know, there's too many typical females instead of real women. Yeah, basically more of the lesser feminine instead of the greater feminine, right? But yeah, think of this, since I just talked about alpha. Um, you know, think about the alphabet. This would also mean that she should become an alpha's beta, right? Get it? But yeah, just as I just said, nothing screams leading lady like her leading with her natural femininity, leading by example for other ladies to follow, right? And I'm not bashing, but I do see the psychological changes that occur upon a chick like herself getting a reduction or an addition. You know, men don't want you to get certain physical reductions, ladies, or certain physical additions, unless it is truly life threatening, right? Hey, what's good, Golden Child? Good to see you once again. For sure, for sure. You said Tom's women in her natural state, natural hair, no boob job, no butt lift. It reflects truth without her saying a word. Exactly. Boom. and a lot that she can actually perfect naturally. She didn't have to do it surgically. She could do it naturally. You could run, you could eat a certain way, you know what I'm saying? You could do a certain thing. Hey, shalom, shalom, Logan. Good to see you in the building. Good to see you in the building. But let's talk on this. Yeah, for sure. You know, because Logan, we talk about, you know, the God body, you know, peace to the gods and the earth. So let's talk about this, right? With these chicks that call themselves goddesses. See, I've always said that to me, I don't see goddess the way they see goddess. I see the word goddess as her being the essence of a godly man, right? Yeah, being the essence of a godly man. Hey, go to shop. Put one R on that, not two R's. Put one R in there. You see at the middle when you said the other Ray J, put one R on that, not two R's. I don't know why they be doing the two R's, but yeah, do one R in the middle. Uh, but yeah, she's supposed to be the essence of a godly man. That's what goddess is supposed to be. They don't want to hear that though, because see, they want to see themselves as actually the God. See, they say goddess, but they really mean God. When a chick like that says queen, she really means king. Why do you think they make themselves queen without a king? They always call themselves queen. I'm like, sweetie, you cannot be queen unless a king makes you a queen, unless he accepts you into his kingdom. There's no queendom. But see, it goes back to the whole Nero thing, right? How did the Nero thing happen? Because Nero, the famous Roman emperor, one of the most wicked Roman emperors that took place, he was sleeping with his mama. I'm not sure. I think that Nero had children with his mom, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can, don't quote me on it, look it up, but I know for sure Nero was messing around with his mom. And during that time, they say he was one of the most wicked rulers of all time, right? And it was his mama behind the scene telling him what to do in the kingdom. So all that destruction that took place at Nero's hands, it was because of his mom telling him what to do, and he was sleeping with his mom. Real talk. Alpha female in the background. See, alpha ain't what people think it is. Think about this whole idea of Sigmund Freud. I've said this before. I've said this before that if a guy is mad at his father, that's because he has sexual attraction to his mother. And this is something that you can read on about from Sigmund Freud himself. A lot of this represents the origin of the alpha female. Like it is a very perverted type of thing, right? Okay. Now, funny thing is, cats and I think some dogs, but mostly cats, they have no thought of this. They have no thought of mating with their offspring. They do it all the time. Cats do it all the time. Okay. They mate with their offspring. A lot of female cats do all the time. You said, Logan, you said, yep, AKA, yep, you broke it down. You broke it down. That's it. Yep. Shalom. Yeah. But that's what it's all about. Deadbeat mothers to me though are not alpha females. They're more like the sigma female type. Not all sigma females. So to all the sigma females, I'm not talking about all of y'all. Just some of y'all that, and I don't mean to say y'all, like that. Like I'm just saying. Yeah, some people get all in their feelings, right? No, but being a deadbeat mother is not really the trait of like an alpha female type. That's more of the like sigma female, or maybe some would label a gamma female, even though I'm not into the labels, but I do understand the actions of what those labels imply. So let's just say, really, how does a deadbeat mother not apply to an alpha female? Well, like I just said, an alpha female type, she's actually involved with her children's life. It might not be for the best intent and the best reasons because she's trying to rule the roost, right? So even me just saying rule the roost, that is the trait of an alpha female. She's going to rule that roost. She wants a beta male type of guy. Now, my thing is, I knew a gal, you know what I'm saying? And she was telling me, she was one of those really opinionated type of chicks, another alpha female trait. But she was saying like a guy we was talking to, he told me he recognized me as an alpha female. He told me I was an alpha female, and I said to myself, I wanted to tell her so bad, but she was already, in her feelings about how I pressed her, because of just us talking about how opinionated she was. But I said to myself, like, only a beta recognizes an alpha. That was a beta male that acknowledged her as an alpha female. See? Because, you know what I'm saying? He saw her as his alpha. For him to say that about her. See, a certain man that is not into his beta ways like that, you know, he ain't go be a sub to a chick. Now you could get inspiration from a chick, you know. Some gals like, how come y'all can't look up to women? You know, I'm like, if she's like a mother type, you know, she's about masculinity and she's about uplifting man. I have no problem with, I guess, to a certain extent, looking up to a chick like that, right? But to a certain extent, because she should only be an inspiration. You know what I'm saying? You know, a man has to be a man, and a lot of mothers they recognize that about their boys. There's a certain time when she just does not have any involvement with that boy's upbringing, especially if he's getting a lot of guidance from a lot of men as well as the father. She steps back. The mother actually steps back, and the boy wants to go out and do his thing and find him some women to mate with, right? So that's that. Okay. But you think about it, you know, how's a deadbeat mother, you know, more of a sigma thing or a solitary thing than an alpha thing? You know, you gotta think about it. She's not trying to lead in that situation. She's not trying to lead in that situation. She's leaving that situation. Even solitary female creatures that are wild, stray, or feral, they don't be around their babies like that for long. Just enough though to where they only are around their babies long enough to wean them off when they get to a certain age. You know, keep that in mind. Now, this idea of I don't know if y'all heard this song by Tupac. I think it was unreleased or it was a mixed song, but it was called Jezebel. Literally, it was just a song called uh, Jezebel. And one of the lines I believe Tupac said, you know, not trying to paraphrase what Tupac said, but he said something on the lines like, still a grown woman, still a grown woman, trying to make it through this life as a little girl. Because basically, in the mindset of what a lot of people don't know about these so-called alpha females, there's still a little girl inside. They just had to learn how to figure out life and be this idea of a grown woman. To them, that represents leadership to take on this idea of being a grown woman. But to me, it takes a man for her to be a woman. See, it takes for her to get around a man to be a woman, womb of a man. She can't be a woman without a womb. She otherwise it's just a woe to a man. And that's what a lot of them are. If they want to call themselves woman for that reason, them being a woe to a man, then yeah, I concur. But that's not the true meaning of woman. Mm-mm. Not from a man's perspective and not from a nature perspective, because she can't be woman without man. It takes a man for her to be a woman. So in that song Jezebel, Tupac talked about just how you got a lot of these gals that grow up trying to think they women, you know what I'm saying? And they still just trying to make it as a little girl. On the inside, it's still a little girl. You said Logan, you said an alpha female is an imbalance to the universe. Exactly. And you think about what the thumbnail that I used with Jean Ray, part of that thumbnail, when she became Phoenix, she was the most imbalanced thing out there. She had so much power, but her femininity, her emotional instability probably could not control all that power. So Phoenix to me is like the ultimate uh incarnation of female nature. You know, just this imbalance of all this raw energy, all this over emotional, it destroys universes. It destroys universes. Yeah. Um, but let's talk about this. Like, there's so many things because from that song of Jezebel, it made me think like, can some chick that was like a Sigma type become like an alpha, or is she's just learning from another alpha type of a chick? Well, this is to one's debate, especially those that call themselves a Sigma female. But here's the thing: like if you're learning or if you are put, let's say this from the seed, right? um you're put in a situation where you had to make it by yourself, but then you have these children that you have to raise and teach. That right there is switching from solitary That's switching from introvert to extrovert, right? That's switching from solitary to being involved. That's switching from sigma to alpha right there. Okay. But let's say this, just so we be fair. If she's an alpha female type learning from another alpha female type, that means she's learning from other chicks in order to teach her children what she's learned from grandmother. You know, it's been passed down. You know, all these big mamas, these generations of big mamas, they teach each other. They teach these young girls as every generation goes down how to get a guy, how to manipulate him, how to get his money, how to get him to do this for you, how to get him to beg to come back to you, how to play silent treatment with him when you think that he's acting up. You got to time him out, deprive him of sex, punish him, penalize him. All these big mamas been teaching this for generations, right? So maybe that's what it is too. You know, these generations of alpha female big mama types. And it doesn't matter what color they are, because I could get you to know some nice gal from, you know, somewhere from like Venezuela, right? You know, she probably know how to do what she can to get over the border to get the green card. And she tells her great granddaughters how you do it, how she had to do it. She might say something with that slick Spanish accent. She might be like, it still works today just like it did yesterday, little mama. You just have to work them. See, you know what I'm saying? She gonna say something like that, and they be doing it like that, man. Pulling that little putting that red lipstick, trying to look like Selena, right? She learned that from her Maria, from El Maria. She learned that from her great grandma, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so shout out to the brown gals. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But there was something I also want to look up because this whole idea of the untold truth for alpha females, and hopefully I've kind of been giving y'all a good idea of that. But there's some a lot of people don't know about slavery. They want to think, oh, it's always white men. Well, actually, a lot of the slave owners were not only black women, but a lot of the slave owners were also white women. It wasn't really always the white man that was the slave owner. And if he was a slave owner, guess who was telling him how to call the shots and who was calling the shots behind the scenes? His mama. Goes back to his mama. Goes back to some alpha female. Hey, son, go out there and whoop them boys. You know what I told you to do. And do we not see this in politics now? You know, and I see that with a lot of guys that are from the white side. What made them become MGTOW? They got tired of the mama trying to treat them like a son. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he became a grown man. She's still trying to boy him. Some guys get tired of it, like, yo, he's like, hey, get away from me with that, mom. I ain't got time for all that. You know what I'm saying? Talk to her with that voice. You know what I'm saying? He got tired of it. It's like, mom, cut it out. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? He do that with her, right? But also, you know, that same guy, you know what I'm talking about, Mike. You know, maybe someone like a Zachary type or Brandon or Jared. You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't want to marry Abigail down the road because she come off as like trying to be too controlling, too domineering. You know, and his whole family got mad at him because he didn't marry her. He's like, no, she was just gonna try to, run me around, you know, around the blocks where I'm from. We just call that being sunned. You know, we don't want a chick to sun us, right? But that's how it be like though. You know what I'm saying? When you feel like you got an alpha female type of chick around you, you feel like she's trying to sun you all the time, trying to tell you what to do. And we don't have to get on sex. Nothing like a girl trying to tell you how to have sex with her in the midst of doing it. Like, ooh, do it like this, do it like that. You know, son, you like, oh, whoa, wait, hold up. But you know what? We ain't gonna go there, y'all. We ain't gonna go there tonight. We are not gonna go there. You said, Logan, Wonder Woman is a perfect example of healthy femininity. Superman doesn't gotta downplay himself to appease Wonder Woman. He's still the alpha. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Because a lot of guys that are of a certain way, because they try to. I remember when they first started to talk about this idea of an alpha female, and it started off good because they say, the real alpha female is actually the most feminine of the feminine. That's how it was first when that's how it was first introduced. But then over time, it took on a more masculine undertone. with this whole boss chick thing. Now alpha female just means alpha boss chick. I'm running it. There ain't, no, you gonna be humble to me, boy. You gonna be submissive to me, boy. I'm gonna whoop you. I'm your mom. I will whoop you. And yeah, some of these girls do be whooping dudes if they suspected him of cheating. Catch him late at night. Try to go through his phone. Any chick that's trying to go through your phone, fellas, she definitely tries to have that alpha complex. Any chick that tries to go through your phone is on her little alpha complex at that time. She's trying to run you. She's trying to look through your phone. Then she want to wake up with a belt. She'll probably try to whoop you while you're sleeping, so you wake up like, she's like, what did I, she start yelling at you about, suspecting you cheating on her and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Throw some hot water on you, throw some hot grits, we won't even go into details, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, them chicks like that are very insecure. Stay away from a chick like that. Hey, what's good? Different same. What's good with you? But yeah, that's the thing. I could see that about the Wonder Woman type, Logan. She would represent the true essence of like the early aspects of alpha female, because it goes back to what I said earlier in my live stream about how she's supposed to be an alpha's female. And we're gonna get deeper in that. We still what, 41 minutes in? Oh yeah. You said Tom's exactly how to manipulate successfully, matriarch, alpha female, called for the whip, and just pointed. It was a woman who called out the king for John the Baptist's head on a platter. Ooh, ooh, yes, yes, yes. Ooh, and oh, was it not Queen Isabella who told King Ferdinand to, have Christopher Columbus check out things? It wasn't. See, they keep saying it's all white man this and white man that. Nah, man, it was. You got to look at these moms, these matriarchs, man. They keep talking about patriarchs. See, and they don't understand. And maybe you could hit me in on this 2 times, but like they don't understand, like, because I tell people they be like, oh, it's so much black on black. And I was like, it's actually a lot of white on white. And what it is patriarchs fighting against matriarchs that keep trying to suppress them, that don't want, the true masculine type of white man out there. Because actually, like the real patriarchal masculine white man, they ain't the ones that down talk other guys, especially of melanated color. They actually support other brothers. Like masculinity recognizes masculinity. It don't matter what color it is. But it's always the matriarchal type of guys that want to beef and have these racisms and things like that. And even guys of the same melon that are matriarchal in their ways. Any dude that's beefing with another dude, that's matriarchal. Facts. So let's go. You said, Logan, Wonder Woman is an Amazonian. Don't get it twisted. A strong woman is attractive, but a Wonder Woman embraces her femininity, which makes her even more attractive. Let's talk about that, Logan. Let's talk about that. So these basketball gals, right? They say on dating sites, tall girls get overlooked a lot. So all the tall girls, if you're watching yours truly right now, give me a like. Give me a like. Hit that like button, please, because I like some tall women too. Okay. It seems like a lot of them have to be humble and more submissive because a lot of them are overlooked. But see, you do have some tall chicks that try to um, use their height to their advantage because they be like, they be like, I only want to breed with a tall man. But the reality is, tall dudes don't want tall women; they want short women. And obviously, short women want tall guys because they think that he's longer than 6 inches, because they also think that matches his 6 figures. And y'all know the evil sixes. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man. But yeah, tall girls that I've met have always been humble and submissive. At least it seems that way. Like me just talking to them, I've ran into some crazy tall chicks, but once again, them tall chicks actually were the ones that try to only get with tall guys. You know what I'm saying? And they learn the hard way. Tall guys actually don't want tall gals. Most guys that are over 6'6", you know what I'm saying, they want a gal that's about 5'6" or 4'6". That's just kind of the way it is. Because a man wants to look greater than a woman. At least like when he's of a certain height. Some guys think like that. Like I said, me, I'm pretty indiscriminate. I have no problem with a chick that's taller than me, especially if she's curvy. I'm just gonna knock the Amazon down sexually. Like, we just gonna have some fun. You know what I'm saying? Just on some good loving type of thing, man. So yeah, like I said, all the tall ladies, holla at your boy. Holla at me. Yeah, but you think about gals like Lala Anthony and Sierra, okay? You think about gals like that and how they changed the destinies of the men that they had around, the Russell Wilson and the Carmelo Anthony. They changed these guys' destiny. Guys have some people have talked about this before, how these guys have had to move to different cities to play for different teams. Like Russell Wilson just did, and like Carmelo Anthony has done many times. Like his best team, Carmelo Anthony's best team on paper, I believe, and y'all can, correct me on this if need be, but Carmelo Anthony's best team was with Denver, the Denver Nuggets. He has better numbers and he was putting up more scores, just being more of the player that he always wanted to be. It was with Denver. Now he did good in New York too, but his best was in Denver. And he liked Denver. He actually liked being in Denver. However, Lala Anthony wanted to leave. Like I said, it's some on that lines that based I believe that's how the way it went down. So if there's a slight correction that's needed, hey, I'm cool with that. But with Russell Wilson, similar story. He's now out of Seattle and he's now in Denver, about to play for the Broncos. So I guess the irony of Denver for both Russell Wilson and Carmelo Anthony. But yeah, all because from what I've heard, their wives, at least with Lala Anthony at the time when she was Carmelo Anthony's wife, you know, they influenced the decisions of the men that they had around. So to me, that's like an alpha female type right there. That's another untold truth about the alpha female. Basically, if she can change your mind, change your decisions and the direction you were going in life, as well as where you wanted to live, she's now an alpha female to you. You're basically her bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because she's telling you what to do. She's telling you where to go. Now you'll have some girls that'll come back and debate and be like, "Well, what's wrong with a woman's opinion on certain matters and discussions?" I'm like, "Well, your opinion's cool, but he should be able to have the final say in the final decision." And you might not necessarily agree with that, but your role, if you will, and I hate to say the word role, but I'm just saying role for now. Um, slow your roll. But yeah, it should be more or less to have his back, especially if, let's say, he doesn't make the right decision. You still have his back. You're there for a supportive position. You're not there to be directing him and telling him what to do or anything like that. You're there to support him. You're there to have his back. Now that's where you get some gals, they'll get greedy and they be like, well, if I can make better decisions than he can and I can make the more money than he can, then what do I need him for? What do we need men for? And you think you're gonna find better women than us overseas and all this and that. And it's like it's not about that. It's about a man just wanting a real woman that's not trying to act like this macho alpha type around him. They talk about this high value man a lot. Okay, well, yeah, I get that. A guy that's making a certain amount of earnings, he wants to come home to femininity, no matter where he's been around the world, no matter if he's just fresh off the jet. Okay, he wants to be welcomed with femininity. He doesn't want to be welcomed with masculinity unless he is of a certain orientation himself. If he's a heterosexual, he wants to get fresh off the jet and be welcomed to femininity. So an alpha female don't do that to him, okay? She's not gonna do that. Why? You got chicks that are like that. Well, I work all the time. I work all the time, and then you expect me to come home, cook, clean, take care of the kids, and then expect you to blow my back out. See, that's an alpha female talking. When you hear a chick talking like that, that's an alpha female type talking. Because she feels like, if anything, you should be doing all that. You should be cooking. You know what I'm saying? The reversal. Okay. And she should be blowing your back out. It's kind of funny how that goes, man. So it's that's how it is going. These untold truths. Basically, these chicks they really desire to be masculine. They desire to be masculine. That's why they don't like this idea of a guy that's just being nice because they feel like they're too masculine for his niceness. And that's actually true, to be honest, because she feels like she has to have a guy to match her masculinity in order for her to be feminine. I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. You're actually too masculine to be feminine, sweetie. You're too masculine. Okay. No, it's just, you know, think about it. Think about it. Like I said, a man wants to be welcomed to femininity, not masculinity. If he has to try to reverse your masculinity to be feminine, nah, man, something not right about that. Okay, something not right about that. You had some type of sexual alteration going on there. You know, no pun intended. You said, Logan, another perfect example of a strong woman who are still feminine in a very sexy way. Look at the 1980s and 90s feminine bodybuilders. They were fine. The only muscles only made them sexier. The Amazonian type. Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. The more firm type, not necessarily the real chiseled or hulky type like we see now. You know, just more so firm. Yeah, I get that. I get that. You know. Oh yeah, the long legs, man. Oh yeah, all about them long legs. Yeah. Hey, what's good, Rallo? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, what's good? Perfect timing. What's good, fam? What's good? Um, but shout out to Mocha because she said this at her channel. So check her out, Mocha de Paris, Paris, for those who don't speak French. But no, she brought up a good point about how a lot of Section 8 vouchers are being revoked. You know, a lot of these chicks they rely on Big Daddy government instead of actually a man, but yet they still call themselves alpha because they actually have a household. I'm like, the household is stable because of who? Not because of you. It's because of Section 8, okay? And that Section 8 did not want a man in that household. So who are you to try to say you run that household and that man shouldn't be there? Actually, it's the government telling you that man shouldn't be there, and you're just basically parroting what the government said. Okay. Um, but this is why I believe, you know, part of the masculine paradigm shift that I've been talking about has started to take place. Like the feminine will have to be part of a man's home once more, because this will cause, you know, it's just going to cause a lot of change. It's going to cause a lot of change in rhetoric about her notion of what she felt being a boss chick was all about, being a strong and independent woman, you know, all this. Uh, okay. And so it's not this talk on the same type of strong Logan just alluded to in regards to the Amazonian and Wonder Woman types. I'm talking about these chicks' idea of strong woman based on them call themselves independent woman. A lot of them would have to change that notion, especially as time goes on, I believe. Okay. But to me, it's going to also still cause some rebuttal from a lot of these rebellious chicks, you know. A lot of them will have this so-called male identified female complex. I've seen this terminology in the space recently, you know, a male identified female. Basically, these are females that are taking on male positions, and a lot of them having the money to prove that they can keep a roof over their head themselves. You know, they feel like they can keep their own roof over their head. They don't need a man. But see, we're living in a day and age where, as far as one's earnings, it's not based on being hands on. It's based on more or less just what you've observe like what the technology side of it. Technology is actually feminine. A lot of people don't know that. Like masculinity is actually void of technology because it's based on a man being hands on. Okay. And the only thing he had was his spirit. Now, I won't get too deep in detail, but everything was at one point about spirit. It was void of even technology. All it took was a thought. Okay. But that's for another conversation. But but you have these gals that just feel like they can do more than a man. And I'm like, no, it's based on the way society has made things to where it is easier for the feminine to make it in this society versus the way it used to be when it was based on a man's hard blood, sweat, and tears. Nowadays, even with a home, a chick can actually build a home by herself because they've made a lot of building materials more user friendly for everybody. And so the more user friendly the materials, the easier it is for the feminine to use those materials. You don't even have to go and grab a nail no more to put together a couple of I-beams. You can just kind of put them together with your hands. Ironically, the most complicated thing is a car, but now you don't have to fix a car. A car will either fix itself or it will be to the point of where literally that car won't need to be fixed because it's becoming more electric. Once again, another feminine type of influence on the society. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. But a lot of this alpha female stems around this. Okay, so you got gals who think now all of a sudden they're just big timers and boss chicks because society has gotten better for them to make it. No, society just became more feminine so that you can make it. Okay, that's what has happened. There was a time when you used to stay at home and the man had to go out there in the elements and survive, or he had to go out into the iron mills, be around dynamite, risk his life. Okay, he had to do that back in the day. Okay, times have changed though. Things have gotten better and safer and more GMO. Okay, you don't have to go out there and tend the fields, even the farmers, they don't even have to be out there like they used to be no more. Tractors are now automated. He don't have to be on the John Deere no more. The John Deere is remote control. He could be in the home playing with his dog, and that tractor out there working all them hours for him. All he has to do is go out there and collect the corn once the tractor is done for the work for the day. Okay, and them tractors work for sun up to sundown. But now they can do it by themselves. They don't need a farmer out there on them tractors no more, for the most part. Okay, but yeah, let's keep this in mind too. Like in some ways, people advocating a lot of people advocating gender equality actually takes away from what femininity is. Personally, I don't advocate gender equality for this very reason because it takes away this complement, if you will, like this complement of the feminine and the masculine. Basically, there are things he can do and there are things she can do, and there's that balance. Okay, that's what is complementary. But when you say gender equality, that means both male and female, if you will, can do the same things. And we know that's not the same, and that's not the case because we don't even have the same body parts. Okay. We might have some body parts on us that are similar, but they're still not the same. Even our skin is not the same. Okay. Even the way a man's hands are made is not the same as her hands. Even the way your toes and fingers are made is not the same way as her fingers and toes. Did you not know that men and women even have a different set of eyelids and pupils and things like that? We are just made differently than the feminine. Now you'll have some of these type of alpha females who feel like male and females are actually separate species from each other. They're not, okay? I rest assure you, male and female are not separate species from each other. Okay. But you'll have some radical chicks that talk like that too. Okay. But the idea of this, the other untold truth about the alpha female, she loves destroying happy homes. She's a true widow maker, kind of like the car. You talk about these cars that could kill you, like certain Cobras, certain Shelby Cobras back in the day, certain Dodge Vipers back in the day that didn't have no ABS systems on it. Okay, these cars were considered widow makers. Okay, and a lot of times the philosophy behind a widow maker kind of a car is it's all boost, no brakes, or basically it's all gas, all pedal to the metal, no brakes, no way to stop it. And so a widowmaker in regards to the feminine of what I believe is the alpha female type, she's like that too. She's a true widowmaker. She's all go. She likes destroying happy homes. She likes to break up homes. Um, whether it is through an affair or she turns her own husband into despair. And there's no way you can have that repaired. Either way, she's a true widowmaker. You know, this idea of all boost and no breaks. What she likes to escalate situations. Okay, she likes to take things to the umpteenth degree for no reason. I mean, there was no reason for her to take it there. She took it there. Okay, she took it there anyway. That's just the way she is. So she likes to go from 0 to 100,000 right away. Okay, what they say when things get too out of hand, when you take things too far, you can get an alpha female type that will do that. She's big on being a widow maker. She's big on burning the house down if he don't do this or he don't do that or he don't make me happy. Okay. She likes to give ultimatums. Okay. She in many ways wants to be your alternator. You know, without her, you're not running like a certain car. Ultimatums as an alternator type. You know what I'm saying? Like this goes deep, man. Yeah, y'all hit that like button. Likes are free. Facts. Facts. Yes. What you think about the different relationships that are out there nowadays? Because I've talked about polygyny at this channel and how a lot of chicks prefer monogamy, especially these alpha female types. You know, they want to have a beta male type of guy under them that he better not cheat on her or else she's going to give him that ultimatum, right? But low key, it's just really so that the man is not in charge. What? The man is not in power. What? The man is not alpha. So she won't accept things like polygyny. Okay. She would prefer monogamy. She would even prefer polyamory or polyandry because monogamy, polyamory, and polyandry doesn't put the man in charge of that relationship, that union. Okay. You got to think of monogamy. It's all about her, and she don't want to share. And guys fall into that because they don't want to miss out on having sex with her. Okay, so they'll put up with it. Polyamory, if he can go out and do his thing, and she can too, but she'll come back to him, and he don't have to feel shame for what he's doing. Still not right because she's acting outside of her nature. Okay, woman was designed to be with just that one man. The problem is they have gotten with many different men over time, and we see what this has done to a lot of the feminine. Okay. And the polyandry is many guys that she can have. You can't have many women, but she can have many guys. But at least you'll have this promise of always having her around you, despite the other guys she has around. And a lot of guys don't mind being a side dude nowadays. We talk about side chicks all the time, but there are a lot of dudes that don't mind, and there are a lot of side dudes out there, okay? This polyamory and polyandry and monogamy, all these are alpha female institutions, in my opinion, just ways that they can keep control, they can lead the relationship, situationship, or as I heard a gal say earlier, imaginationship. You said, Logan, a perfect example of the alpha female is Quintessa from Transformers 4 when Optimus was brainwashed and turned on his own team. Quintessa took over Optimus' mind and controlled him. Boom, that's it. Bingo. Or even as to how that one chick can calm down Incredible Hulk and turn him into uh what's his name? Bruce Banner again. See? Any gal that can kind of control your emotions versus just being your peace. Yeah, she's in her alpha female time at that time. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying about these different relationships, a lot of these gals, they love the multiple men that they have. She don't want you having multiple women, but actually she's the one low key having all the multiple men. And most guys basically are in a polyamorous or polyandry type of a situation where you run into a chick because she knows she got bodies. And she's probably dealing with what? Somebody at that time. You just basically uh would have the type of masculinity that would gravitate her to you, or as I would prefer to say, the divinity to have her gravitate to you, and then it no longer becomes a polyandrous or polyamorous situation anymore. Um, but yeah, her multiple men, she likes multiple experiences. Her chameleon parasitic effect, she can't be connected with one man. she quickly gets tired because that puts her in a submissive position if she has to be connected to that one man, right? That's not alpha. See, chicks don't like to be these type of chicks don't like to be attached to guys like that because that means submission. To be attached to a man, oh no, that's submission. Oh no, you trying to have me attached? What? Excuse me? Oh no, no, oh no. Who you think you talk to like that? You said Logan. 2008 Hulk was an alpha man, alpha male, especially when he went up against a Bombmentane. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. Um, yeah, man. But these chicks, a lot of these chicks that here's a secret for y'all. Any chick that don't like submission, that's because she wants to remain in her alpha position. Remember, I said alpha is a position, not a personality. If she is against submission and she don't like you talking about submission, that's because she wants to remain in her alpha position. Okay. Or she just wants to remain in her position because it could be a sigma position. Nevertheless, her position is of this position. Okay. Because maybe she either wants to remain the boss chick or she just likes to be a loner. She likes to be by herself. She don't really want to have the company of men like that. She might like his presence, but she don't really need his company. That's the notion of a lot of Sigma females I've been picking up on, okay? Yeah, so that part. When a chick doesn't like submission, that's because she wants to remain in her position with disposition. Yeah. And a lot of chicks got their multiple men experience from. Hey, this is low key. This is low key. We got what, an hour in, just a few more minutes to go, y'all. I appreciate y'all stopping by, every single one of y'all, even those checking this out on the replay, by the way. But a lot of chicks got their multiple men experience from being around guys that did gang banging. You see a lot of these chicks with this bad energy. Well, a lot of them started off being around gang bangers. A lot of their fathers are from gang bangers or mafias or cartels. You know what I'm saying? You don't know where these guys come from. These guys could have been some type of sociopath, psychopathic guy. Her father was probably an ex-con. You'd be surprised where a lot of these chicks get their bad ways from. It's just been something passed on to them. But see, here's the thing here. What I'm also finding out is that a lot of these chicks get their multiple men experience from being around guys that did gang banging, and a lot of them would have to join these gangs um, by ways of being they would have to have sex with multiple men just to join these gangs. So likewise with even the chick that's surrounded by athletes, yes, I said athletes, as well as D-boys and rappers. For them to get in, they got to mess with the team. That's how a lot of dudes from these gang banging, athletic, drug dealing and rapping associations, that's how they talk. You wanna slide with me, you gotta ride with the team. You gotta let the team put you on, and that's how a lot of these chicks get into a lot of these organizations. Even in college, man, you be wondering, okay, why does she put out so much with these multiple guys in college? That's because she's trying to get put on. It ain't about her living her best life. She wants to be put on, right? They don't know what they're doing at that time, but that's just kind of the way they be thinking. hmm I don't know what it is for them. Some of them, they think it's a natural high. A lot of times chicks are too scared of trying to just do things the right way. A lot of them themselves don't want to be ready to be married or to have children at a young age. Instead of accepting marriage at a young age, they rather be accepted somewhere else at a young age. That's how a lot of that goes down. So a lot of these chicks, they end up with this alpha female complex after so long because what? They feel that they've conquered many guys after so long. And then you show up trying to be all right for her. She's like, you know how many guys I've had back in my days? Like, they ain't gonna necessarily say that because you'll start to talk about their body count and then they get mad about that. But they will say, like, well, I don't really like talk too much about my sex life and all that. That's like none of your business. However, like, whatever you bring in, like, it better be that fire, boy. You better bring that thunder. You better bring them waves. Keep it wavy. Yeah, surfs up, right? But Here's the other thing about how the alpha female complex can show up in just a few more minutes. This gonna really hit y'all heavy. But same sex relationships also bring out alpha female traits. But that's a deeper rabbit hole for another day. But I will say this, a lot of people lately have been talking about getting rid of the Y chromosome. You get rid of that, you get rid of the male gender. You get rid of the masculine, the true masculinity. I mean, I've kind of posted about this on my community tab, but a lot of people are now talking about why the Y chromosome, you see? Why the Y chromosome? Because with the masculine, the man he carries both X and Y chromosomes, and with the feminine, she carries just X and X chromosomes. And depending on her temperament, aka depending on her temperature, determines the gender during procreation. I kid you not. Her temperature determines the gender, literally. So most chicks, they be stressed out, and that's why they end up with girls, because they temperature be too high. But when she's more calm, she's more peaceful, she's cool, she ends up with a boy. Because the masculine represents what? Peace, calmness. The feminine represents chaos, craziness, drama. So yes, the masculine is cool, you know what I'm saying? Peaceful. And the feminine is like hot drama, right? But when she's, you see with a lot of temperament, what the temperature of the feminine. That's why we've seen a lot of girls being born versus boys. And if it's boys being born, they are very effeminate, if you will. And it's just based on the temperament or the temperature of the mother. So in essence, you could say like the alpha female is basically just another hot tempered chick. That's really what she is. She's just a chick with a hot temper. And you got to tell her, hey, you need to cool off, girl. You really need to cool off right now. Hopefully, this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live made sense to, make sure that y'all hit that like button, or like Mike would say, hit that damn like button. Especially those listening to this on the replay. This your first time coming to my channel. You like my content, whether uploads, or live streams, or even some of my short videos. Definitely more in store. So make sure that you subscribe, share this live, as well as my other content. Just go into my archives, basically the section where it says playlists, and you'll see that there's many playlists that consist of a lot of good content. Um, and also for those checking this out on the replay, you'll see the different platforms that I'm on. Just like in the chat, you'll also see in the description section, depending on when you check out this on the replay, you'll see a place if you want to go tip yours truly. That'll also be in the description section. Not an expectation, not an obligation, but just definitely appreciation. Make sure that y'all do hit that notification bell so that you get my uploads in real time. You said it's Tom's. You said, damn, science equals no males. Need to speak on this. Yeah, yeah, I know. I told you I had to get deep just for that little bit. Because that's kind of, they taking out that male gender, right? They taking out that male gender, and that's leading to the really this whole essence of what true alpha female means. You want to lead the race of humans. Yeah, you want to lead a race of humans. Yeah. So that's kind of, that's how we could top that off. But no matter what, despite that, yeah, no matter what it looks like out there, it's only gonna get better from here. Because there's always going to be some other feminine out there that don't want to be all into their alpha like that. They want to know what it's like to have a man in their life. And I'm gonna say this. I might as well say this, okay? I was gonna say this for the upload, but I'm gonna throw it out right now for this live stream. Hey, for a lot of these chicks, man, sex for them is very unemotional. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. You trying to lay that pipe down, and you really think you're doing your job, and she just laying back on her back, rolling her eyes, like, when is he gonna be done? To her, sex is unemotional. She doesn't feel pleased with you. She's just trying to get through because, in many ways she's trying to find a way to lead you. She's just trying to, hey, anything I could do to please this little boy, but we're gonna get back to work after this is done. And then I'm gonna deprive him of sex for the next 6 months. Okay. It's like that. And I'll get deeper in this because it does get deeper than that. But a lot of chicks, for them, sex is unemotional. They might claim to be going through the emotions of each enjoying sex. No, no, that's only for a gal that actually loves you. Okay. She's enjoying that time with you. But an alpha female type, no, she has a mission, she has a motive. And for the most part, if she's doing something with you, it's to her discretion and on her terms. And she just wants you to get the job done. She might even be the type to embarrass you and tell you that you're not doing a good enough job. You're not impressing her. Okay. And she's going to tell you, like I said earlier, how you're supposed to have sex with her. Okay. Like I said, it's only getting better from her because a lot of chicks, they want to experience a man being himself and really, feeling pleased doing these sexual things and spiritual things, emotional things with her. Him just being a man. There's more gals coming out like that. Um, it's just that time. Times are changing. The masculine paradigm shift. Keep that in mind, y'all. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks a multi-million for stopping by, y'all. Much love. All right now.